Hadoop sounds like a really big thing. It's complex installation. It runs on clusters, maybe hundreds of machines. It uses teras, if not petas, of data. But actually, you can download a simple tar.gz of a Hadoop installation, run it on your local laptop for the purpose of practice. It is very easy. In this way, you will have hdfs and Hadoop running locally, and this is what we are going to do in this session. Let's start with it. So if you are going to Hadoop main website, you will see there that there is a single cluster installation, and we are going to follow these guidelines. So it's setting up a single node cluster. In general, what they are doing is making sure they have SSH. Immediately we will see why, because Hadoop uses it. They will make sure that they will have a correct Java home pointing to the latest Java version they have, and then they will simply start Hadoop. And then we'll run a sample job, and this is exactly what we are going to do. So to summarize, our plan or our steps for installing Hadoop are going to be these. First, set up Java home to point to the correct Java version. Then download Hadoop tar gz. Simply download Hadoop. Then extract Hadoop tar gz. Then we'll change a few minor configurations because it doesn't come configured out of the box and we need to configure it. We will configure two items. One will tell Hadoop where the hdfs resides, and the second one will tell it what's the replication factor. So two configurations, hdfs URI and also the replication number. So after we installed, we have downloaded Hadoop locally. Remember, all our target is to download Hadoop to our local file system simply on your laptop. It sounds complex, it sounds like Hadoop, it's a big system, but it's small. And we will then start the local hdfs. After we start it, we will upload files to hdfs. Then we will run a Hadoop job on these files that we have uploaded, and then we will get the output files from our job from Hadoop and print the result of the job. So you see, we have all the main components. We are downloading Hadoop, we are starting Hadoop hdfs, we are uploading files to hdfs, and we run a Hadoop job, and we get the output. We have the full life cycle. So let's begin. First, we are going to install Java and set up a Java home. So I have started downloading Java. Let's see if we have it here. Not yet. Let's download Java. So we are going to we're going to Oracle and then clicking on download the Java, free Java download, and then we want actually the JDK. Okay, so looking for the JDK. Yes, we are looking for the JDK, and here we click download for the JDK. We accept the terms and we download the tar.gz because we are on Linux. Now while it's downloading, I will pause the video and we will get back after it is downloaded. Java is downloaded. We are downloading the JDK right now, the first step, and then we will set up Java home. Java has downloaded. Let's extract it. I'm going to go to the dev folder and target vfz for downloads JDK, and it's extracting it. Let's verify we have the Java installed, being JDK, bin, and Java minus version, and yes, we have the version. So let's now export Java home to point to it. So export Java home, this is the environment variable, so that Hadoop will know where Java is installed. Java home is user home, and then dev and JDK, and this is our Java home. So if we now print Java home, we have it pointing to the correct Java directory. So we finished with the first step of installing Java. Now let's download Hadoop and unzip it. It's very similar to how we do the same process we had with Java. We downloaded tar.gz and then we extracted it, and this is the exact same thing we are going to do with Hadoop. Okay, so I'm going to a Hadoop website, download Hadoop. Okay, so now I need first to download it. So download Hadoop from this website, Apache download mirrors. Looks like it's a little bit slow these days, but so many people of us are downloading Hadoop, right? So Hadoop website is back in the game, and we are going to download it. So we're clicking, we download the latest version, which is now 3.1.0. Click download, and it's beginning to download. So as you see, we finished with step 1, which is set up Java home and download Java, and now we're at step 2, download Hadoop tar.gz. Hadoop has finished downloading, and we are now going to simply extract it. Now, okay, so let's extract it simply. So I'm going to the terminal, and I'm going to issue tar xvfz on downloads and Hadoop. This will create a Hadoop 3.1.0 directory. And it has finished. So let's change directory to the Hadoop, cd Hadoop 3.1.0, and let's now configure it. So our next step is, after we have extracted, to change some of the configurations, because we need to change them so that our cluster and hdfs will run locally. So there are two files. The first file is the core site.xml, which configures the site. It's the hdfs. Let's view it. vi etc. etc is relative directory, not the absolute directory etc. Hadoop, and then core site.xml. As you see, we have here a clean configuration, and we need to add to it. So we add property, just a minute. Okay, we're adding a property, and now we're adding the property with name file system fs.default. fs is actually pointing to localhost. So the value of it would be hdfs and localhost 9000. This is the standard port for the hdfs. And this is it. We finished with this file, and now we are going to edit another file which will control the replication factor. As we are running on a simple laptop, then we will configure the replication factor to be 1. So vi etc, again you see it's a relative folder, not an absolute folder, hdfs site dot XML, and the configuration is again empty here. So we are again going to use the property tag and the property tag. And the property name is dfs hdfs.replication. This is the property name, and the value would be simply 1 because we are going to have only one replica for our data. The more replicas you have, the more you can parallelize your data and your operations on the data, and you can get faster results. However, our target is simply a Hadoop for test. So we have finished configuring Hadoop. That's the only thing we should have done. Finished with step 4. And now let's start local HDFS. Actually, before we start the local HDFS, we need to verify that we can SSH to localhost without a user, because Hadoop itself is SSHing, so we need to allow it to SSH. So let's see first if we can do that, and if not, we are going to fix it. So SSH and localhost, and we can't, so we need to install the SSHD. In Ubuntu, that is going to be sudo apt-get install OpenSSH server. In macOS, you enable your SSHD via the configuration. You go to the configuration and sharing, and then you click on remote login. But we are on Ubuntu, so we are going to enable it via the command line. So first we install the SSH server. It will still not allow us to log in passwordlessly to the server, so we are going to do a few tricks and to add our key so we can log in passwordlessly. And now let's try SSH localhost. So now it's listening, but it will ask for password, and this is not good because we want the server not to ask for password. So the way we are going to do this is SSH keygen -t RSA -p, no password, SSH and ID RSA. Okay, sorry, I had a mistake here. -f. DRSA, we again type this, we had a typo on the file name, so we put our public key in the authorized keys. Alright, next we need to change the permission of the authorized keys, and now we can retry to log in to localhost with no password, and it's working. Okay, so great. So we have passed this next step of verify SSH login to localhost. In Mac it's simpler, we just go to settings and check the remote host. Now we start our local HDFS. And we move on to the next step to start the local HDFS. We are not only going to start it, we are also going to format the HDFS. So we're going to issue HDFS bin HDFS, which will run the HDFS. You see it has many parameters, and our parameter is going to be format. So bin HDFS name node minus format. Let's see if it formats it. I hope it does not format my computer. And it has finished formatting and creating the name node and the data node. And now we are going to actually start the HDFS. We have only formatted it. So sbin start dfs.sh, and let's wait for a few seconds. Starting name node localhost. Java home could not be found. Let's check this. I think it's because I started a new tab. So we are going to simply use the Hadoop env in order to set the Java home. So vi etc Hadoop, again all the configurations are at etc Hadoop and Hadoop env. we're looking for Java home, and we uncomment it, and the Java home is this guy. So we have set the Java home, and now let's retry it. So we are starting the DFS. We have set the Java home in Hadoop and .sh. All these files exist in the relative folder of etc inside the Hadoop directory that we have downloaded and started, and it is starting the Hadoop name nodes and the data nodes. As you see, I already have some data nodes, but it doesn't matter because it will communicate with it with the same ports. So now that we have started the secondary and the primary name node, the secondary is not for backup, then we can move on to the next phase, which is uploading some files. So first we are going to create the base user directory in hdfs. So the command for this is bin hdfs dfs-make dir make dir. You see, we are already using Hadoop commands on our local laptop /user Hadoop dfs-make dir and /user. And let's see if this directory exists. Bin hdfs dfs-ls/ taking a few seconds, and yes, we have this directory. Let's create a few more subdirectories. So bin hdfs dfs-make dir /user/tomer, and then we will put there some files with standard Hadoop commands. So bin hdfs dfs again -put again, this time -put because we are placing some files. We'll simply take a few files from within Hadoop configuration. etc is the Hadoop configuration, and we are going to call this folder input. Let's see. So it's uploading the file. Let's see if it's successful. No such file or directory. Oh, because I didn't specify the actual path. So I'm going to specify that the path is this guy, and let's see if we have the files. I'm doing now ls on the user tomer input. Let's see if we have, and yes, we have all these files inside a Hadoop. Now that we have the files, let's run a Hadoop job. So where are we in the steps? In the steps, we are at start the local hdfs. We have done that. We have uploaded some files, and now all that is left is to run the Hadoop job and then get back the file. So let's start by running some Hadoop job. There are already Hadoop jobs existing as examples, so we're simply going to run them. And the Hadoop command to run is bin Hadoop jar. So it's Hadoop jar. What is the jar that we are going to run? Share Hadoop MapReduce examples 3.1.0, and we are going to add to it an argument grep. Then user tomer input Hadoop all the files. These are simply the input parameters to this jar, and then output. This will grep all the files with XML for this pattern and put it in the output. I already have the output folder, and Hadoop is immutable like for the DFS, so I will put here Hadoop folder 1. This will run a Hadoop job on my local computer laptop that we have just downloaded from the internet and installed. And as you see, the Hadoop job is running. It's running, and the last step would be simply to print the output. So, and if we use the Hadoop bin hdfs dfs-cat and we want to print the results, let's first see which files are there. Output 3, which files are there, and then we will print the results, the output from the Hadoop job. Let's see, user tomer output, typo here. So we first list the files, and then we will use the -cut in order to print the results. So there is something there called part R00000, and we print it, and this will be the result of the job, which will count the number of lines which are producing and having this text. So to sum up, we have setup Java Home, download hadoop tar.gz, extract hadoop tar.gz, change a few configuration files, verify that we can SSH to localhost without any username password, without password, start local hdfs with dfs start, and then upload some files to hdfs, run hadoop job, and then get the output. This was cool because we can now practice Hadoop locally. To summarize, we managed to download Hadoop, to start HDFS, to upload files to HDFS, to run a Hadoop job, and get results from HDFS. All this on our laptop on a single directory. I mean, we didn't use too many multiple directories, just the directory that we downloaded the Hadoop to. That is so cool. In addition, there is nothing new here because I just followed the explanation which appeared in the Hadoop installation docs with a few minor modifications because I had to tune it to my Linux system. And you can always look at this tutorial in the future for a reference. In the description I will put the notes to more details on how you can do this if you want to see it as a text file. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.